Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of this vlog. If you haven't watched the first one, I'd suggest that you watch it because you will not understand what's happening. Do not forget to comment, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this video.
The world keeps turning.
Okay, so because I've said everything that I wanted to say with regards to knowing who you are, right, and understanding dynamics behind your identity. This is important because if you do not know who you are, you will get lost in the source. Here in life, you will get lost. I went to high school, fine, knowing who I am. I got there because I was constantly questioned. I lost a bit of myself, and I tried so much to alter who I was.
To be the version, the Tamia version of what people wanted me to be. The version of Tamia that people wanted me to be. English.
Yeah, so I tried so hard to be the Tamia that people expect me to be. I got out of high school, I went to varsity. I remember I ended up taking pride in this thing that I'm from Venda, because when people were annoying me now, I'd say to them, I'm from Venda, so don't mess with me. Because, people really are gullible and they think this thing of witchcraft is real. And they think everyone who comes from Venda is deep within, witchcraft is a thing. And then I think that was the only way that I got most people to get off my back, because
if I just mentioned that one thing, game over. Game over. You will not be on my case anymore.
And that was that. But the reason why I'm saying it's important to know who you are and be rooted in your beliefs and your values, your morals, is because you get exposed to so many things in the outside world. You get exposed to people who just do things for clout. When I say do things for clout, they're doing things, for those who do not understand what clout is, they're doing things to be, what's that word? Relevant. Basically doing things that are trending. You're doing things because you want to be noticed. If you know yourself, I know that I am Tamia, and I'm not comfortable with showing much skin, especially I'm not really comfortable with showing much skin, but I got to a point where it felt like showing skin was a thing. You're that girl, I'm a labels. If you have not established who you are, you will lose yourself because you are constantly trying to be what the world wants you to be. You're always in competition with the world. You're trying to be up to date 24/7, and it's not possible for you to be up to date 24/7. That is nothing but a myth, because you can never be up to date. Things move fast, guys, in life. Things move fast, and you here trying to move fast with them. Nah. The world is constantly changing, and if you're going to constantly change yourself to match up with what's happening in the world, something is wrong with you. I know I'm a really nice person, and people always say, if a nice person doesn't say they're nice, people see it in the things you do. But I'm saying I'm a nice person in terms of my character. I'm very loving. Nice is not even a word, but I'm very loving, understanding, caring, and that's why people take me for a Popeye. Because no matter how many times you've hurt me, no matter how many times you make me a fool,
Touchy topics.
But no matter how many times you make me a fool, right, I will still be the loving Tamia, which is why it's so difficult for me to just let go of things. And it just so happens that the world doesn't owe you anything, and no one cares. No one really cares about you. The sooner you realize that, the better. But no one cares about you, and no one owes you anything. So even though you hurt me so many times, I have this thing of not wanting to be changed because of the world. Because if I let the world change me and change who I truly am, the loving person that I am, the understanding, this thing of being understanding is very also tricky because it puts me in situations. But if you let the world control you and you let the world change you, then we're all going to be the same in this world, because the world is cruel. It is forever going to be projecting on you. And I'm saying the world, and the world, I'm referring to people, I'm referring to human beings, because they have been taught that it is not okay for them to be themselves. And because they were not accepted for who they truly are, they're going to project the same thing to someone that they meet. Like if they meet you and they see that you genuinely happy with who you are and you know you stand in life, they are going to project and are going to try break you down and try to make you like them. Guys, it is important for you to pick up on people. Like, you should know people who are there for you because they accept you for who you are and what you offer. And then there are people who can see your potential and do not want you to reach, like, you know what I'm saying. I don't know how to explain it, but I know of friends who, when I opened up to about me being depressed and me not feeling well, I used to be told that depression is a thing that I like thinking about, or I'm not strong enough in my faith, or I just like being sad. Fast forward, those very same people who said I was seeking attention are the very same people coming to me and asking me about medication, asking me about how to go about this thing of accepting who you are. This is now where we are going to link things together. I've told you who I am, where I come from. I've told you my experiences in high school and in varsity, right? This is where I went wrong, especially in varsity. If you were to spend time with me or you were to ask my friends, they're probably going to tell you, guys, Tamia is not the person you think she is. Tamia is such a sweetheart. She's humble. Like,
I don't know why some people think I'm in competition. When that time I'm here thinking and I'm like, yo, Tamia, you are playing yourself. Like, what are you doing with your life? And people think I'm competing at the same time.
I got to varsity. First year was a bit fine, you know. Yeah, it was okay. I was getting to know myself, you know. I was that girl trying things out. I was very active, very active. But what I picked up recently is that the after effects of my first year happened in my second year. I was constantly having fun. I was having fun, man. Like, hey, YOLO, you only live once. I was having fun. In first year, I think my balancing was a bit better when it came to academics and social life. But things like, you know, relationships, friendships, those things are also factors you should think about when it comes to thinking about yourself and your well-being. Because you'll find yourself compromising your growth for someone's happiness. I would find myself, even though I'm broke, and you say to me, Choms, let's go out tonight. Me, I'd go out because why? My Choms wants to go out. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's where I lost myself to the core. I was drinking like nobody's business. I was partying. This is like in first year and second year. I was partying like nobody's business. Like, people always thought I had my life together. People were like, yo, Tamia, how do you do it? And the thing is, I was so good at wearing a mask, guys. I was so good at putting up a performance. Because you would not see that I'm dying on the inside. I'd go to school. I'd go write my tests. I'd write my exams if I could. That's if I didn't have a breakdown. And I'd look okay. You'd think this child has it. How does she do this? You know, she's going to class or she's writing tests and she still has like a social life. If you knew me, you'd know that I stayed in my room 24/7. I did not have the energy to be in conversation with people. I was drained. I had no lists to be active. I didn't want to, like, this life thing just didn't make sense to me. It honestly did not make sense. I was like, why am I doing this? I felt like I got to a stage whereby I was doing things because they were expected of me. I wasn't doing things because of the enjoyment or doing this, like, I was like a robot. I don't know what a robot feels like, but that's what I feel like was happening to me in that time. I'd stay in my room for days. I'd stay in bed without eat. Guys, I could go 2 days without eating. 2 days is even little, but I could go days without eating. And I'm so good at answering things. Tell me, how are you? I'm good. How are you? No, fine. My mom would call me. My family would call me. So how's it going? No, it's going good. It's going good. You know, my mentor would be like asking, so Tell me, are you coping? Yes, I'm coping, you know. It was a lie. It was a lie. And because of everything that I bottled up since high school, it got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore. And when I decided that day that I'm going to take those pills, I've tried so many times before to take pills, and I used to take them with alcohol, even because I was, I don't think I can say this word, but yeah, I was tired of life, right? I used to say this a lot. And they're like, Tamia, what you talking about? Yeah.
When there is nothing left in you, you feel like the world just keeps coming at you.
One thing after the other, like, yay. And it drains you. It leaves you empty. You have no feelings, you have no aspirations. You are tired. You are tired of life. And this is how people end up depending on substances and like impulsive behavior, because you're trying to substitute or compensate for whatever it is that's missing in your life. When I say I used to drink, I'm not lying. It got to a point where my mom was like, Timmy, you need to stop drinking because you're gaining weight. And mind you, I don't think my mom knew much. She knew I drank, but like, I don't think she knew how extreme it was. You lose yourself. You let yourself go. You get to a point where it is what it is. You're not faced by anything. You feel like there's nothing better in this life thing. When I decided to take the pills for the final round, I was like, I'm tired of me taking pills final round. It's because I had bottled up so many things. There are so many things that people said to me, about who I am, about how I view myself and how they view me, that it affected me so much, and I internalized everything. And I saw no reason for me to be alive. I was like, people always tell me that I'm stupid. Then why am I fighting with my academics? People tell me I'm not good enough. Then why am I constantly seeking for validation? Do you know how stressful it is? There's academics, there's friendships, there's family, there's finances, there's your health, there's everything just coming at you sideways. And you just like, you can't take it anymore. My mother, my family, till this day, do not know why I decided to take those pills. And I told them, even when I was in hospital, do not ask me why I took pills. Do not ask me why I attempted suicide. Do not ask me, because I'm not going to answer you. And for some reason, I don't know why parents think this, but they always think it's got to do with relationships, like romantic relationships. I said to my mom, it was enough. Like, I had enough. Like, she's like, what do you mean, Tamia? What do you mean? Is it a breakup with Usman Bahani? Is it because... And I'm like, it's everything. It's everything. I don't think family realizes the pressure that they put on you, especially if you are probably the first to break generational curses. Like, there's so much pressure. Everyone's looking up to you. Everyone is like, yeah, this is our star. No, our breakthrough. Or maybe there's that thing that, oh my gosh, she's always been so smart. Or, guys, things change. People change. I feel like a lot, like I had so many people expecting so many things from me, be it my foundation, be it leadership in NMU, be it my, like, there was a lot. I couldn't deal with it. And I would always beat myself up about it. But I'm on Tamia, you, what's happening? What's happening to me? Like, what is happening? And I was like, you know what? I'm tired. If you knew me last year I had reached, like, the peak. Everything was, I'm tired of life. You know when it gets to a point where you're trying to study and akuvumi, I do not know how many breakdowns I had. Last year I had more breakdowns than I've ever had in my life. Gets to a point where the tiniest incident tips you off. And definitely I remember my tiny incident. And it just went boop. And I was like, pop these pills, my nigga. Pop them, my boy. And at that point, I really didn't even care about people. Like my family, my friends. I didn't care. All I cared about was me. I didn't think of the hurt I'd be causing people. I didn't think of the after effects. Guys, you know when you feel like you do not know yourself? That's where I was. That's where I was in life, because I was finding myself doing things that I always told myself I wouldn't do. I'd find myself chilling with people, like bad company. Acting as if I was tough and acting as if I don't have feelings. And that is one thing I'd never want to see someone go through, because you lose yourself so much that you don't see a future. And it only took me to be hospitalized to realize so many things about myself. Like, I knew that I would do extreme things. Like, I would either drink too much or party too much or spend too much money buying clothes or like just food and not know what was happening. But you know, when a psychiatrist says, my love, you've got bipolar mood disorder, I was like, psych. Why? I mean, like, that's one of my conditions. Once you accept, again, process it, accept it, and integrate it. Once you've been informed of conditions you may have, or if someone tries to point you in the right direction, or someone blatantly tells you that you are losing the plot, my love, like you are losing yourself, guys, process that information. Think about, if someone comes to me and says to me, this is not you, this is not who you really are, try and think, why is it that this person thinks this way? And trust me, it's not everyone who's going to come to you and try to help you get back on track. And that's where you start seeing people who genuinely care about you. It's not everyone's going to come and be like, hey, Mfethu, you are losing it now. You've lost yourself. Because you start caring about people who don't give 2 cents about you. You start keeping company that has got nothing to do with your growth. They're not invested in you making it big. Not making it big, but they're not invested in you bettering yourself. Bona, they just focus on the nice times, you know. We can just go out and, you know, it is what it is. Like, that's all there is to life. If your friends, like, I've come to a decision that if my friends do not contribute to my growth whatsoever, if you're not going to be, like, if you're not going to love me, and if you're not going to be transparent with me, I do not understand why we should be friends. I honestly fail to understand why we should be friends. Because I'm now wasting my energy because I'm here being a friend. and you are just on the receiving end. You don't even meet me halfway. I'm wasting my energy on you. I could be using that energy in me, but no. I'm investing it in a person who doesn't even recognize the little effort that I make. Peace. All in all, what I'm trying to say is, and I've been saying this throughout the vlog, if you do not know who you are and you are not firm in like who you are, you will go with the wind, and the wind one day is going to throw you deep somewhere and you will not know how you got there. By the time I got to October, I don't know how I was where I was in my life. I didn't know how I got there because everything happened so suddenly. First year I was fine. I went through things, but I thought I was fine. Only to find out that because I didn't process the things I went to, I didn't accept what happened, I didn't integrate it. When something happens to you, or like you lose a loved one, or you are bullied or something, accept it. Acknowledge the feeling. Acknowledge whatever it is that comes to you. If you want to cry, cry about it. If you want to scream, scream about it. But do not dwell in that situation. You know, you think I'm with 20, right? It will mean like, I'm fine. You know, I'm growing, and Kanti, you are not okay. And when you get triggered,
Hey, guys! When you get triggered for real. And now...
my advice is, when something happens to you, take time to process it. Accept the fact that you cannot change what has happened. Accept the fact that some things are out of your control. Like, it's not you. It's not up to you. Experience the emotion right there and then. Don't put it off to experience it 2 weeks later. Don't. Do not. Do not do that to yourself. Because you are setting yourself up for a rough time, a rough patch, a very, very rough one. Talk about these things. One thing I struggled with was communication and talking about my problems. Not even my friends knew my problems. Not even my mother or my psychologist knew these things. No one. The only time I learned the importance of communication was when I was in hospital. And that's when I realized that there's a lot of things that I could have prevented from happening just by communicating. If people are making you uncomfortable, tell them. If you do not like the way in which people come at you, I don't know how to say this, but the way they come at you, tell them. Because I know for a fact I became very defensive when it came to talking about who I am and where I'm from. I'd be super defensive when you say to me, when are you depressed?
I'd be really depressed. What way?
Because every time I tried to tell someone that I'm not okay, they tell me I'm thinking too much about it. If you think about something too much, it becomes your reality. And that is true, but like sometimes it's not that I'm thinking of it, just happens. Guys, depression, for example, is an imbalance of hormones in your brain. So how before you judge someone or you make a comment, please try to be educated on whatever it is that you're about to say. Do not tell me that I'm a lost child and I do not know who I am, simply because you think I'm meant to be, or I am who my father is. Before you come and tell me that I am fake, or I do not match my name and surname, or I do not look like what you had expected me to look like, please do realize that you know nothing about my family dynamics. Be kind, not just to yourself, but to people, because you do not know what it is that they're going through. You come to me and you tell me how fake I am because I'm following this person and I'm like a puppy because I'm chasing friendship. You do not know my experience with friendship. You do not know how it feels to be backstabbed by people who you genuinely felt comfortable around, and you openly shared things about yourself only for them to use those things against you. You do not know how it feels to try to explain yourself, right? You are trying to give hints. You are trying to say, guys, I need help. You are trying to say, guys, I am not okay. But the more you bring up this conversation, the more people just think that you are seeking attention. Guys, it's literally the little things that you do to someone that has a huge impact on them. There are people who are going to be like, I don't care about what people say about me, and because at the end of the day, it is me. That is what you want to think. But subconsciously, you care about how people see you. You want to be seen as matured because you want to achieve this and that. Guys, we are all human at the end of the day. Feel comfortable with crying in front of someone. Feel comfortable with being vulnerable. Feel comfortable with telling people what exactly is happening in your life. Because the moment you start sugarcoating things, the moment you keep it in, it's going to eat you from the inside. This is why now when it comes to friendships or like relationships in general, for me, I'm skeptical now, because I need to think. I've got a very imaginative mind and I think a lot, and like I outweigh all possibilities. If you come to me and you're like, I want to be your friend, obviously you don't say I want to be your friend, but I ask myself, why is it that you want to be my friend? Why are you keeping me company? Why are you being so nice to me? Because in my 20 years of living, I shouldn't even say 20 because I wasn't even clever back then, but I've been exposed to people who want to be your friend or want to associate themselves with you because they know that you're going to help them better themselves, right? Like, I got to a point where I realized that in my life I was just a ladder, because I always help people get to the top. And the very same people that I was helping didn't give 2 cents about my things. There are friends who will genuinely support you, and family, and there are people who are going to genuinely support you and are going to be there for you and like hype you on. And then there are going to be friends who do not want to not help you in the beginning, but they look down on whatever it is that you're doing. And only now, when they see that things are going right for you, they decide that, oh my gosh, she's my friend. There are friends or people who are self-centered and will not care about your feelings whatsoever. I've heard hurtful things from my friends, And I've forgiven them, to be quite honest. I've had people, be it family, be it friends, be it strangers, who have said things, toned down the severity of situations. I remember in 2018, I had a breakdown. And I was studying for supplementary. It was ecos. And nothing was going in. I went to my grandmother's bed and I was crying. And she was like, let's pray. The first thing she said was, I pray for the spirit of depression to go away. Take away these dark thoughts and bring light. Not only did I open my eyes at the same time, but I was shocked. For a person who worked in a whole psychiatric ward, for a person who worked like people like myself, I found it very ignorant, and it just made me lose it. The problem is, people now, when you think of psychiatrists and psychiatric hospitals and so forth, you think of worst case scenario, you think of people who can't think for themselves, you think of people, guys, when you look at me, you definitely would not think of all the different conditions that I have, because I do not let my diagnosis define who I am. If someone comes to you and trusts you enough to tell you what it is that they're going through, what it is that they've been through, or just telling you their problems at that point, they trusted you with that information and you only. Do not now go and tell your other friends because, you know, you're trying to say, no, man, she told me because. Do you know how much it takes, how much courage it takes for someone to tell you the truth about themselves? The truth hurts, and people seldomly want to accept things for what they really are. I, for one, did not want people to know that I was not okay, that I needed help. When I was struggling financially, I wouldn't ask for help because I was ashamed. When I struggled mentally, I would not say anything because I had abantu bazawuthini syndrome. There are so many things that I could have prevented if I just decided to put myself first. And in life, you need to realize that sometimes the best thing you could ever do is put yourself first. When I was in hospital and I said to my mother, I'm leaving PE, I'm changing courses, I could feel that she was shocked. She wanted to kill me. But my health comes first, and now I realize how important it is for me to be okay, to know who I am and be at peace, because I almost lost myself. Not almost, I lost myself, but I almost ended my life because of people. This is where I have decided to end this vlog. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And please do remember to stay kind, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and stay safe.